I'm from the government and I'm here to help. I saw a news clip the other day when they asked a dairy farmer what he thought of the new farm bill, and that's what he said. And the next guy I see is going to say, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. It's not the case. How many of you are here to learn how to lose money?
They're
All
doing
right.
that already.
Yeah, we're already doing that. Okay, so my remarks are going to be focused on how do you evaluate your options. Okay, this is a part of marketing that takes place before you blow your savings. All right, so if you're the people that were talking before with their businesses, they're already in business. They know their customers, and I think one of the things that's really important that came out of those conversations was direct marketing. You know, they do a lot of direct marketing, and when you do direct marketing, what you're doing here is you're you've got customer insights, you've got one-on-one interaction with your customers, so that when you're evaluating your options, the first thing you want to do is decide what need it is that you want to fill. And it's not something that you can create. It has to be there. It's extraordinarily expensive to try and create a need for a product these days, when there are so many people that already have a need, and you can find out what it is. So the first step in before you decide what business you're going to be in, what products you're going to sell, and the like, is to investigate customer insights. And by that, I'm talking about not just who they are and where they live, but what their lifestyle is, what their attributes are, what their shopping preferences are. Because if they don't shop where you sell, they're not a market for you. So if you're trying to do business in a certain place, then you need to know where the customers are going to come from around you. So what we're talking about is market analysis, essentially. All right. And where do you get this market analysis? You get it from asking people who are already in business, not necessarily your friends and relatives, because after your friends and relatives have bought everything, then what are you going to do? You know, it's who cares? Who cares what you're selling? How much do they care? I mean, are they going to come back? You know, these are pretty basic questions, but they're true. And why should they buy from you? What is it that you've got that's so wonderful? You know, how will they buy from me? I mean, if I'm growing produce and I'm doing it in Nelson County, and I don't go to any, and they have to come to me, how am I going to get them to come to me? You know, so what's my distribution going to be like? And what is the cost of customer acquisition? This is something people don't think about at all. In fact, it very seldom comes up in a conversation. But how much does it cost to make that sale? Not only do you have to grow it, but you have to make people aware that you have it. How much does all that cost? So all these things tend to go into a financial plan, right? It's not seat of your pants, because it's your money and you probably want to be able to keep it as long as you can and leverage it, okay? So answer those 5 questions. Who cares? How much do they care? Why should they buy from me? How will they buy from me? And what is the cost of customer acquisition? And prove it. Put the numbers down. One of the best things that you can do when you're thinking about what it is you want to sell or produce is to take a look at customer trends in the business. Okay, so one of the best things about being in the food business and being on a farm is people eat it. People eat your products. That means they're gone. That means if they like it, they're going to come back and get more. That's one of the best business models you can have. And people will come back and get what what you want, what you sell them. Now, one of the interesting things about what I heard here earlier was there's a strong trend in the food business away from, if you notice in the grocery stores, the growth of the deli area, the growth of prepared foods. That's because people don't want to cook anymore. They want to buy it cooked. Gee, I heard that somewhere before. That is a huge trend. And it must be a really strong trend around here, because when I go to the markets, I see people selling prepared food. So those are trends that you can identify that should go into your marketing plan before you decide, well, I'm going to go sell. I used to live in Tennessee, and collard greens were a really big deal. You go to the market and collard greens. Well, if you don't know how to make collard greens, I mean, that can taste terrible. So you'd be surprised the number of people that don't know how to make collard greens. I mean, and the same thing can be said for any other fresh vegetable. Even if you take fresh vegetables to some institutional kitchens, they're not going to know how to deal with it. So that's why people tend to gravitate towards prepared foods, besides the fact that what about lifestyles? They're on the move. They're looking for entertainment as well as for food. So when they go to a farmer's market or they go to a food festival, they went there for the food. So take those things into considerations. Now, we're really blessed in Virginia with an awful lot of really good primary research that the state pays for, okay? If we call this agribusiness and we talk about tourism as well, well, the Virginia Tourism Board every year commissions some really great studies as to why people come to Virginia. And then when they're here, what are they going to want to do? And agribusiness plays into that wonderfully. And you can get numbers out of those reports that are available on their website as to how many people are coming to your specific region of the state. Albemarle is well represented in these statistics because we're one of the larger areas. But it tells you why people come here, where they come from, how much they spend, where they stay, what they do when they get here, and what they don't do when we get here. So look those things up and make them part of your plan. Another thing is the Virginia Wine Board has done the same thing. They have lots of really good marketing information on there. And also the Virginia Department of Agriculture has really, if you've been through there, you're all familiar with the Virginia Grown, and some people get real excited about that and some people don't. But the point is, they are leveraging you, and so they have information. They just didn't do that because they had some extra taxpayer dollars they wanted to throw around. So ask them. And one of the things that leads from that is trade associations like the Virginia Department of Agriculture encourages people to join the Specialty Food Association. And if you've got prepared food or packaged food, and don't poo-poo the packaged food. One of the things around here we like to think about is fresh, local. But it's only fresh and local when it's in the fields and they bring it out. The best way to preserve fresh food is to flash freeze it. So don't worry if you've got 500 pounds of broccoli and you got nobody to buy it. Make some soup and freeze it, or just flash freeze it, frozen. Now, if you'd done the research, consumer insights, you'd found out that consumers are beginning to learn about flash frozen food, and they are looking for it. So do your research. Okay, what's really important is to take all this information and put it together in a financial presentation that convinces you and me and whoever else that you can sell enough of this stuff to make money. You know, you're not in business just to feel good about it. You're in business to make money. So how much money can you make? How are you going to distribute it? How much is it going to cost to distribute it? And who's most likely to buy it? So if the customers for whatever you have are in Philadelphia, how are you going to get it to Philadelphia with a cost of customer acquisition that's low enough for you to be able to make money? One of the good things about the agribusiness around here, I think, is that we've got we really have momentum built. And because of the marketing dollars that the state has been spending on Virginia agriculture, we have a real opportunity to present our agricultural products like frozen and heritage and all those sort of keywords that appeal to people who will buy things if you can get it to them, which means you can expand your market beyond the 60-mile radius where things might be easier to sell, which means you can expand your dollars. So that's a pretty quick, because lunch is just around the corner. But what I want to get across is, just because you think it's a good idea doesn't make it so. And just because your mother-in-law wants you to do it, hope she's got a lot of money. Do your research. And if you need help doing your research, that's what the SBDC is here for. And Nora and I will be around after lunch, so you can stop by and make an appointment. The county helps support us, so we can support you. And we're not really as smart as we sometimes think we are, but if we don't know, we'll find the answer. So any questions? And other than that, let's eat.